The first time investigators walked into the Langford estate, past the marble pillars, the manicured hedges trimmed like art, and the gold-plated initials welded onto the front gates, Detective Maya Caldwell felt something tighten in her chest. Wealth had a way of polishing guilt until it looked like innocence, and power had a way of silencing anyone who dared to question it. But not this time, because one woman, one young black woman named Ariana Brooks, had vanished without a trace, and Maya had promised her mother she would not allow her to become another name swallowed by statistics or silence. What Maya didn't know, not yet, was that the man greeting her with a charming hand extended and a grieving frown perfectly rehearsed was the very man who had taken Ariana's last breath. Miles Langford III was the type of man who never heard the word no. Born into old family money, heir to a network of private medical institutes, and husband to Dr. Evelyn Langford, a respected surgeon, Miles walked through the world as if it belonged to him. Ariana Brooks, meanwhile, was a receptionist at one of his clinics. Smart, soft-spoken, hard-working, and endlessly kind. She had dreams, real ones. Finishing nursing school, traveling, helping her younger siblings through college. She didn't expect to fall into an affair with Miles. She didn't expect him to whisper promises he never intended to keep. And she certainly didn't expect to become pregnant. When she told him, Miles's mask cracked. "This can't happen," he'd said sharply. "You need to take care of it." "No," Ariana replied, voice trembling but steady. "I'm keeping my baby." Those 6 words sealed her fate. 2 days after that conversation, Ariana told her sister she would go to meet Miles to talk things out. She even texted him before leaving home. That was the last message she ever sent. Her car was found parked outside an abandoned storage property owned, ironically and bitterly, by one of the Langford family's investment subsidiaries. The location was miles from where she was supposed to meet Miles. No forced entry. No blood. No witnesses. Ariana simply vanished. Her mother's voice broke as she clutched Maya's hands and whispered, "Please find my daughter." And Maya, a black woman who had spent her entire career fighting to give victims like Ariana the justice they deserved, swore she would. What made the case so traumatic was Miles's performance. He inserted himself into the investigation with an ease that made Maya's stomach turn. He organized search parties. He offered a reward. He called Ariana a lovely employee and shook his head sadly at every press briefing. He even brought investigators coffee. To the outside world, he looked devastated, even helpful, but guilt was a scent Maya had learned to detect, and Miles reeked of it. She noticed inconsistencies first. His timeline was too neat, too precise. He avoided mentioning Ariana unless someone else brought her up, and his wife, Evelyn, kept glancing at him with a strain in her eyes that hinted at secrets she couldn't bear to carry. Still, nothing was enough for an arrest. Miles was powerful. Miles had lawyers. Miles had influence. Maya needed evidence, something impossible to ignore, and she found it in the most unlikely person, Evelyn. Dr. Evelyn Langford was a woman who had lived her entire life next to a man who dimmed her brilliance so he could shine brighter. She knew about the affair long before Ariana went missing, but for weeks she remained silent, suffocating under a mixture of shame, anger, and self-preservation, until Maya Caldwell sat across from her and said softly, "I know you're protecting him, and I know you're drowning because of it." For the first time since Ariana disappeared, Evelyn cried. "I didn't know what he planned," she whispered. "I swear I didn't. But the night she vanished, he came home shaking. He showered for an hour, and he burned the clothes he was wearing. It was enough to get a warrant. Miles's empire began to crack, and behind one of the storage units, Unit 14C, Maya found the truth. A rusted industrial drum sealed tight. The same kind used for chemical disposal. Inside it was Ariana. Miles had bludgeoned her in a moment of cold, calculated rage. He sealed her in the drum while she was still breathing, though unconscious. She suffocated in the dark, her unborn child with her. He hid the drum in a storage unit owned by one of his shell companies and believed the world would never find it. He underestimated Maya, and he underestimated Evelyn. When officers entered the Langford mansion to arrest him, Miles smirked. "You can't possibly think." "You killed her," Maya said quietly. You killed her and then pretended to help us look for her. His face twisted, the mask finally falling. She would have ruined my life. Your life? Maya repeated, voice cold. You stole hers. The cuffs clicked. For the first time in his life, Miles Langford III heard the word no. And this time it was final. The trial shattered the community. Miles's wealth couldn't save him. His name couldn't protect him. His lies couldn't shield him. Evelyn testified. Ariana's family wept. Maya stood in the back of the courtroom, hands clasped tightly. Miles received life without parole. But justice, Maya knew, was never as simple as a verdict. A mother still had to bury her child. A black woman who trusted someone powerful paid for it with her life. And a community learned that evil doesn't always look like a monster in the dark. It can wear designer suits and smile politely at press conferences. At Ariana's memorial, Maya placed a single white rose on the table beside her photograph. The room was filled with people who loved her, people who believed her life mattered. Maya spoke one sentence, one she hoped would echo beyond that room. Never let power decide whose life has value. Because Ariana deserved more than silence. She deserved justice. And finally, she received it.